Alright, settle down folks, grab a lukewarm cup of tea and a hobnob that's probably gone a bit stale because here we are again, wading through the muck of the modern world. Oh joy, another day where reality seems like a particularly bad fevered dream written by a hungover chimp on a deadline. Politicians promising unicorns while fiddling while the world burns, metaphorically speaking, of course, health and safety regulations and all that. But fear not, weary traveller, because tonight we're gonna XDefiant this mess. We're gonna dissect the absurdity, poke fun at the powerful, and leave you questioning everything you thought you knew, except maybe the price of a decent pint. That's constant. So smash that subscribe button like it owes you money, hit that notification bell harder than a bingo caller on a triple bingo, and get ready for a right royal XDefiant rant. Now let's take a gander at this Reddit post from our pal XDavid83X. Now XDavid reckons they're having a right mare of a time. Every lobby's a bloodbath, KDs are through the roof, and apparently everyone's a pro gamer these days. First off, XDavid, love the username. Classic 80s vibe, reminds me of my old Commodore 64 days. But back to your woes. You say you're not in the welcome playlist, which sounds about as inviting as a root canal. No SBMM, you say? Well, that's skill-based matchmaking, folks, for those not down with the lingo. Basically, it's supposed to pair you with folks of similar skill. Now, XDavid seems to be suggesting this no SBMM playlist is more like the Hunger Games. Every gamer for themselves. Now, here's the thing. This ain't exactly shocking, is it? We've all been there. You boot up a game, expecting a bit of a laugh, a casual shoot 'em up, only to find yourself dodging bullets like Neo in the Matrix. It's enough to make you question your own reflexes, your aim, your entire gaming existence. But here's where I get a right giggle, XDavid. You say you ended a match with a 25-21 and you consider yourself the worst in the lobby? Now, I'm not saying you're some kind of tactical genius, but in this supposed MLG lobby you describe, that ain't half bad. You're practically Mother Teresa compared to these Rambo wannabes. Now, this whole SBMM situation, it's a right pickle, innit? On the one hand, you want a challenge, a bit of a healthy competition, but on the other, who wants to get pummeled every match? It's like queuing up for virtual therapy, not a bit of fun. The truth is, XDavid, this whole situation stinks of a bigger problem. The gaming industry's become obsessed with catering to the elite, the esports crowd. It's all about the pro scene, the big bucks, the next Twitch superstar. Us regular folks, the ones who just want to unwind after a day of work, just get left in the dust. So what's the answer then? Well, that's a question the developers need to answer. Maybe a proper ranking system, one that actually works, not this SBMM nonsense. Maybe some dedicated casual playlist where we mere mortals can have a laugh without getting sniped from across the map by some 12-year-old prodigy fueled by Mountain Dew. Until then, David, keep your chin up. At 25-21 in that kind of lobby, you're practically Gandhi compared to these trigger-happy maniacs. And for everyone else out there feeling the frustration, don't despair. We'll get through this together, one sarcastic comment at a time. Remember, it's just a game. Unless, of course, it's Pong, then all bets are off. You know, sometimes the internet makes you feel like you're trapped in Weatherspoons after last call, listening to the ramblings of a bloke 3 pints deep in existential dread. Well, that's the vibe I'm getting from this right here. Apparently some lad named Mark's written a letter to the developers, demanding they add a way to skip the post-game presentation. Now, I'm all for a bit of efficiency, but skipping the whole shebang? Let's unpack this like a past its sell-by-date supermarket sausage roll, shall we? First off, Mark, if you're literally only leaving when your team's getting pummeled, you're part of the problem, not the solution. You wouldn't bail on a pub quiz team halfway through, would you? You gotta see it through, even if the answers are as wrong as a politician's promise. Secondly, 3 minutes? Is that all it takes to break you, Mark? 3 measly minutes? Now, back in my day, we had victory screens that looked on for an eternity, filled with stock footage and the developers patting themselves on the back. We sat through it, learned to appreciate the repetitive torture, and emerged stronger individuals. Now, you lot want to skip it all. What's next? Skipping showers and complaining the telly doesn't make you dinner? But here's the real kicker, isn't it? This isn't about a 3-minute screen. It's about a generation with the attention span of a goldfish on Red Bull. You can't handle a bit of closure, a moment of reflection on the glorious victory or the spectacular spectacular failure you just experienced. It's all about the next dopamine hit, the next match, the next chance to escape reality. Now don't get me wrong, I'm all for a good rant, but maybe, just maybe, instead of whining about a post-game screen, use these 3 minutes to learn from your mistakes, analyze your opponents, or, dare I say it, chat with your teammates. You might even make some new friends, build a community, you know, like the good old days. So Mark, here's a thought. Stick it out, have a laugh at the absurdity of it all, and maybe, just maybe, you'll find some hidden gem in that unskippable screen. Otherwise, you'll just be skipping through life itself, missing all the good bits. So I stumbled across this right peach of a post on Reddit last night. Now, this fella on such username, I believe it was, they had a bit of a right go on XDefiant. Apparently, snipers haven't gotten any update. Well, gather around your mugs, because Scotty McG's here to give it to you straight. First off, let's address the elephant in the room, shall we? Snipers? Now, I'm all for a good headshot taking down the enemy with a bit of precision, but in XDefiant, it's like trying to hit a fly with chopsticks after a few too many pints down the pub. You pump half a clip into these fellas and they turn around and sneeze you out of existence with a single shot. It's enough to make a right Charlie out of anyone. But hey, don't blame the snipers, blame the XDefiant boffins if you catch my drift. They're tinker-toying with all sorts of fancy new gadgets and game modes, but where's the love for the classics, eh? Us Brits, we built an empire on pragmatism, on getting the job done right. A good sniper rifle, that's a tool that's stood the test of time. You don't see them fiddling with those, do you? Now, I'm not saying they shouldn't add new things. A man can only dodge so many laser beams and robo-chickens before it gets a bit tiresome. But for crying out loud, if you're gonna update the game, at least make sure the fundamentals are sound. Know what I mean? Us gamers, we're not lab rats for their grand experiments. We want a game that's fun, that's balanced, and that doesn't make you feel like you're getting robbed blind every time you spawn. So, to the XDefiant devs, a message from your friendly neighborhood Scotty McG. Sort it. Fix the snipers. Give us a fighting chance. Otherwise, this game's going to be about as popular as a lukewarm Foster's. All hype, no substance. And that, my friends, is a fate worse than death. Next target. A Reddit post so spicy it could melt a pasty in Greg's. Entitled one probably is controversial, but... oh, for crying out loud, here we go again. Look, folks, life's a team game, alright? Whether it's dodging pigeons on the high street or fending off a horde of chavs at the Toby Carvery, you gotta stick together. Same goes for these fancy pants online shooters, eh? You can be a Rambo personified, racking up kills like a broken fruit machine, but if you're lot up all playing tiddlywinks in the corner, you're still going to end up with a right good kicking. Now this Reddit numpty here reckons being player of the game after a loss is a load of cobblers. Says it shouldn't happen. Well, I say that's a crock of the finest Yorkshire manure. Here's the thing, sunshine. Sometimes, in the cruel and unforgiving world, you gotta shine a light on the lone soldier holding the line, even if the rest of the platoon scarpered off with their tails between their legs. Think about it. Maybe this player of the game fella was the only one actually trying, the only one keeping hope alive, whilst the rest were busy complaining about lag and fiddling with their bloody weapon skins. They deserve a pat on the back, a virtual medal, even if it comes with the bitter taste of defeat. Is it ideal? Absolutely not. But hey, that's life, innit? You take the good with the bad and the downright embarrassing. Besides, what message are we sending if we only reward winners? Hey, thanks for carrying the team, but we lost, so sod off. Talk about kicking a bloke when it's down. So to the Reddit naysayers out there, I say this: lighten up, give credit where credit's due, even if it comes wrapped in a losing package. And to all you player of the game losers out there, keep your chins up. You fought the good fight, even if your team forgot to bring their fighting trousers. Now I see some comments here praising the graphics. Aye, they're alright. Like a telly on a fancy showroom floor, all crisp and shiny. But who actually watches telly anymore? Point is, it's pretty, but is it fun? That's the real question, isn't it? But here's our lad Miserable Soft. Apparently after level 25, things went south faster than a pint of lukewarm ale. Now lad, a 1-to-1 kill-death ratio. You're practically a walking target down the local pub roll. You reckon the netcode's to blame? And it might be a tad dodgy, like a dodgy kebab after a night out, but let's face it, you're probably getting sniped by teenagers with reflexes faster than a squirrel on a Red Bull. Look, Here's the truth, son. This ain't your nan's Call of Duty. Can't just run around with your SMG all gung-ho like you're a right divvy on the Somme. This is the big leagues, alright? Folks here are jump-shotting and sniping like they've got a degree in advanced bullet ballet. You need to adapt, evolve, or get left behind faster than a politician's promise. And what's this about a controller with fancy back pedals? Blimey. Sound like you're kitting out a spaceship, not playing a game. Back in my day, we had 2 thumbs and a dream, and that was enough. You need to hone your skills, lad. Practice those jump shots. Learn the maps like the back of your hand. Remember, knowledge is power, just like a good cup of tea in the morning. Now, the overall player skill level, that's a right hoot, isn't it? It's like the microcosm of real world. The rich get richer, the skill get... well, you get the picture. It's a bit of a rigged game, just like the housing market these days. But hey, that's the world we live in, innit? Oh, miserable soft. The choice is yours. You can either get good, as the youngsters say, or get grieved by folks who can make a fly swatter look like a sniper rifle. Just remember, a bit of grit, a dash of practice, maybe a stronger internet connection wouldn't hurt. You might just survive this digital battlefield. Right, that's your lot then. Makes you think, doesn't it? Like a confused pigeon staring at a chip shop menu. If you manage to survive this existential dread, whack that like button harder than a bailiff at a bingo night. Comments down below as well. I need content for next week, and frankly, therapy's too expensive. So tell me your thoughts, folks. Did this video make you more informed or just dumber? Did it change your life or just waste another minute scrolling through the algorithm-rigged dystopia? Doesn't matter. Like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, because apparently that's what the cool kids do these days. Bunch of twerps.